What's up, guys? Casey and George back with another episode of Going Bracket Racing every Tuesday on YouTube, Facebook. It'll come out on podcast a little while later. You can find it in a whole lot of spaces. I think Instagram might even have it. We always got to start off these shows with thanking the people that let it happen every single week at 5 Eastern, 4 Central Time, 3 if you're way out there in the California side of the world. TSR Racing Products for your power glides, turbo 350s, and 727 transmissions. Hit them up over there. Hit up Will. He's a good guy to deal with. He'll always get you handled. BRG 3D printed parts. Anything special you need, Brian Garrett can print it up for you in high-density plastics and polymers. Syntex Printing out there in Temple, Texas for your shirts, brochures, stickers, flags, banners, etc. Hit them up. Hit Greg up. Let him print you some stuff up. Let him print you some stickers. Get some of those GBR stickers in the mail. If you guys want to have those on your race car like the one you saw a little while earlier, got them in the winner's circle. I'm just saying it's a little bit lucky. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Just hit me and George up on the Facebook page and we'll get them out to you for free. We're the only people who do that as far as I know. Driven Racing Oil, best oil to use with methanol, hands down. I can drain it out, put it back in my slow car, run it for a little while longer. Use the code GBR10. Get yourself 10% off your order. Free shipping to your door. Anything over, I believe, $99. Ships free to your door. Proform Parts. Visit proformparts.com for your carburetors, alternators, starters, radiators, distributors, tools, much, much more. I need to talk to Ryan over there and tell him, you know what they need to build, George? I need one of these right now. Wheelie bar wrench. I need one of those right now. It seems like something that'd be right up their alley. And Crew Chief Pro software, contact Don over there at crewchiefpro.com to get your dial-ins in order. Get those weather predictions in order. We had some crazy weather blow through here last night. I've been at the racetrack whenever things like that happen. All of a sudden, you may speed up, may slow down. George, you know a little bit about that from that weekend, don't you?
Yeah, last week I chased my tail, and I'm still licking some wounds from misdialing my car and not paying attention well enough to Crew Chief Pro software there, because it was spot on. It's just that old George's brain thought it was going to speed up. So learn from my mistake, guys, and go ahead and follow that good software. You know why I got you here? You saw that nice looking blue and black and silver, and that's a nice looking car. GBR logo just looking real good on that back fender there. Lucian Payne, way to go. You landed in the winner's circle there. And congrats. I know you said you just got back to it and haven't been at it very long. So, hey, good job, man. And thanks for supporting GBR. Casey, real quick, before we bring on a couple of guests, we're not going to take up too much of their time. I just want to shout out the Pelage race that's coming up here real quick. The Del Pelage Memorial is actually coming. There's more to come on this race, everyone, but I just want to showcase it here right now. We're going to continue to look at this. It is a Thanksgiving race from what I can see here. So if you guys want to have some turkey and dressing and some wind lights, come on out to the old Del Pelage Memorial Thanksgiving 10Ks, and let's have some fun over there. And looks like it's close to Baton Rouge, if I'm not mistaken myself. But anyway, pay attention to GBR. More to come there. Without further ado, and what you all have been waiting for, we've been you're kind of broadcasting and talking about IHRA's movement that is going to build us back better inside of the bracket racing community, inside of sportsman bracket racing, whatever you want to call it. I don't care what you call it. We want to bring into the show Mel and Larry from IHRA. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Now, guys, right off the bat, I'm going to make sure everyone knows this is a open discussion, meaning if you have a question or a comment, Casey and I will do the best that we can in order to get those questions or comments answered, okay? Or at least make them heard. So feel free to leave your question in the chat. We're going to start off my first question, maybe a question that a lot of others might have. We talked about this briefly in the behind the stage or behind the curtain, whichever you might want to call it. What exactly is an IHRA ProAm?
Well, you want to tell them?
Yeah. So basically, a ProAm back in the day was the rod classes, and we used to have a pro type class, top sportsman, top dragster. So we're kind of doing a kind of little takeoff of that to start because we each year we're going to try to grow our program, add something to it. So we're going to go back to our roots, basically. Quick rod, all the 3 rod, quick rod, hot rod, super rod, top sportsman, top dragster. We'll have a small tire no time class, so around slicks, called Real Steel. That was kind of got a lot of buzz going on. Depending on the track, we'll have what we call a mystery class. Mystery class, that was just one of the things that just kind of, and it just kind of blew up on us. Nobody knows what our mystery class is going to be. So a mystery class, basically something that will work in North Carolina, and then maybe it won't work in Texas. So Texas, maybe, Texas has other index classes, as you well know. And then like a top ET, modified junior dragsters, we always want to include our junior dragsters, no matter what we do, whether it's Sportsman Spectacular, team finals, world finals, we always have our juniors there. I mean, they're our future of our sport, and we will never forget them.
That's good, man. That's where I came from, was junior dragsters and everything. I was one of the first generation junior dragster drivers to go into the top ET ranks and things like that. So I can very much appreciate that. I got my own son now. That we have a few questions that we'll get into with junior dragsters a little down the way. That I kind of talked about with Doug Foley whenever we had him and Paige on last year, I guess, at this point, or maybe it was earlier this year. I don't remember, things get away from you. But I do have one question specifically from my buddy Michael Crumpler, was asking what ET range will be associated with the top dragster and top sportsman side of things.
It's another one. We're going to follow PDRA. PDRA is just, I think they got one of the best top dragster, top sportsmen going. And we'd like to follow them. How we're going to do, above 16 or above 32 car fields, that's one thing we're going to work out. We do want to crown a national champion at the end of 2024. So, and I think Larry can agree, PDRA's program is
they got the best
spot
program
on
ever. I mean, what Tommy and Judy's done to that whole deal, and Tyler and all of them, that they got an amazing thing going on.
That was a great question too, Casey, by the way, because it's one of the first questions we got out of JP Miller is, what is the format for top sportsman and top dragster? Will it be qualifying field 16, 32, or 48? So, hey, JP, thanks for chiming in there. Looks like we got an answer to that question without even having to ask it, man. So it might be fresh on some people's minds there. I'll keep going, Casey. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, man, it's all good. Since we're on the subject of ProAms to me means, contingency program. A lot of it was heavily involved with the contingency program. And I guess first question as far as contingency goes is, are there efforts being made to bring that contingency program back to these IHRA ProAms? Because back in the 80s and 90s, it seemed like there was all this participation in the rod classes and sportsman classes and things like that. And that was heavily because, it might be, $1,200-$1,500 to win the race, but you could take home, $10,000-$15,000 in the 80s and 90s after you claim all the contingency.
We're working on it. It's harder now. It's hard to get people to step up, especially with us rebuilding this and starting over. But what's happened in the last 6 or 7, I'd just say 5 months, has been pretty amazing. What Mel and our whole team has done, it's just everybody's starting to really act like they're excited again, because at first, everybody thought, we were heads up guys and we were going to shut down the bracket racing and do that. I think we proved that ain't what we're wanting to do. I mean, I always felt there's plenty of places to go run your pro mod. PDRA is the best place in my opinion. If you want some serious racing, that's the best right there. We don't need another pro mod series. There's plenty of them, and plenty of good ones. So,
and getting back to our Hot Rod Classic, we're also going to at not all of them, but some of them, to some of the bigger venues that we book in, we're going to bring in some type of fan-oriented, 8-car show. We don't know what it's going to be yet. It could be something different at every single track, or it could be not. So it's just something that we're working on behind the scenes. Larry's got his hands all over it, and you know, when we're ready to do that, we'll let the world know what we're going to do with that.
Hopefully that's this week.
Yeah,
Nice.
could be this week. So, but yeah, so like I said, we're just
it's something
it's
that
amazing time for IHRA.
It's something that really they've seen it, but it's not been out there on a stage. So
it would be awesome. Awesome if you wanted to kind of just hint at it a little bit here on the Going Bracket Racing YouTube. I'm just playing, but yeah,
we gotta harness Larry there. We gotta.
All right.
Well, so
it's exciting though. It's very exciting. That's all I can say. Very exciting.
It's badass.
Yeah. There you go.
Awesome.
And then
I have go ahead.
Another thing, like we were getting calls from racers. You know, hey, how about doing a separate series for the juniors like the other series does? And we don't want to do that. I mean, the best thing you can see is when you pull into them pits and you see a family there, you know, and they're barbecuing and hanging out with other kids. And that's what we're about. IHRA is family. So we'll always have juniors at our races. And hopefully everybody's just having a good time and racing. Get back to having fun instead of bitching.
I agree, man. That's what it's all about. And I just wanted to read this question out real quick. I got a text here from my buddy Danny Waters Jr., who was a major, you know, IHRA Pro-Am type guy back in the day whenever it was really hitting hard. He specifically asked, he said, I'd like to know about contingency as well. I was asking him if there was anything in specific he would want to know, because I would assume he'll go right back to that. It would be the make or break of it working, in my opinion. You can't toss but so much money at an organization and have it work out financially, which you guys know. Also, it needs to be made easy to claim, not jump through hoops like you have to do today at NHRA. Even if they pay a little less and not require receipts within a certain time frame and such. At the end of the day, it's all about the publicity received on the vendor's part. Just my line of thought. What do you guys have to say about that?
That's awesome. I mean, you don't want to win a race and for a month later try to hunt down your money.
I agree.
It just takes a lot of people and a lot of effort on both ends of the party, our party, the sponsors party, and everything, to make sure that money's going to be there, you know, because the best thing you can do is just write them a check right then. I mean, it makes more work for everybody. It makes more work for the racer, for us, for everybody.
And we're going to have a little thing when we do announce our contingency program. We're not, I mean, I've been doing this a long time. Okay. A guy will refuse to put decals on until he gets his semis and then run over to the trailer to try to get them. So that trailer will be locked up. So
right.
If you're not going to run your decals through the entire race the way you should, then you don't deserve the contingency. And that's a lot of the problems that these contingency companies have is just people stacking the decals in the semifinal round or whatever. And then they really get no pictures, no nothing, you know, and it just, so the race are big. It's on your shoulders too, you know?
No, I agree. And that's the thing too, is whenever you think about it, think about all because every car, like back in the day, for example, I always remember you always see comp cams on everything, you know, comp cams is everywhere. Well, every single one of those people isn't going to claim contingency. So it's a great opportunity for the vendor as well to get some great publicity across the entire country for the majority of the race, because every single one of those cars, if they're offering contingency and these people are serious, 95% of them are going to have all these stickers on and they're not ever even going to claim. So it's great for everybody if it's done right.
Right. So it looks like we lost Larry there for a minute.
Yeah, we lost him for a second.
Going on?
It took your camera. We can hear you. It took your camera from you though.
I don't know what the hell is going on.
Sometimes whenever people call you, that happens.
Right. If you're on a cell phone, that is.
Computer smart. So, hey, babe, they called you. It messed it up. They can't see me.
Yeah, what'll happen is once we go to commercial, Larry, I'll walk you through how to get it back there.
But she's doing it right now. That's my savior right here.
Right on, right on. There we go. Nice work. Do you need a job? I'll hire you too. Because like
got enough shit going on.
I'm looking over here on our Facebook channel and have to apologize to everyone. We've got quite a few spammers in our chat right now. I'm doing the best I can to delete those, but thanks for hanging in there with us. So, Casey, man, I don't think we've talked about this quite yet. about the Pro-Ams in the mystery class listed. I know we touched on it, and I want to use this opportunity to pull in a little something that I watched someone comment on one of your guys' either a post or a page about the pro stock, or should I say bike classes needing love too. Do we got Top Fuel Harleys on the mystery class? On the mystery class by chance?
If I didn't have Top Fuel bikes on the mystery class, I'd be hung because one of my employees works for Jay Turner, and that's what he was doing last weekend. They actually won at the NHRA race. So
Nice.
Everybody's on the list
on the mystery class.
Awesome.
And I would have to imagine, and I've heard you kind of allude to this, Mel, at one point in time there, that you guys are potentially going to run some type of consensus or a feeler in certain areas to understand what's going to be quote unquote appropriate for that area. I would imagine the mystery class will probably have a lot to do with that as well. Am I correct?
Yes, correct. I mean, we're going to work with the track. So when we partner up with these tracks, we're going to see what works best. Make sure we're not stepping on another event's toes, when it comes to that class, because that would be the worst thing to do. I know it's hard. I mean, it's hard. Especially in North Carolina, you have 18, I think, working racetracks in North Carolina. They all do some type of grudge, no time, whatever. They have something going on. Almost all of them the same. So, scheduling on top of each other. You realize that you cannot, you can't exactly do that every time. It's going to happen. But if we can do it and be smart with these tracks and work with at least our IHRA tracks, and we can make this thing, we can make it huge.
Right.
That's the plan. And like I said, we're we're the tip of the iceberg here, and we're going to work every day until we announce that first one.
And I'll call this out here real quick too. You've got Central Illinois Dragway working. I know they are IHRA track. I know the Gephardts very, very well. Good buddies of mine, like brothers, to be honest. And also William Thorston. He says he loves the Teen Street at Beacon Dragway. I'm not for sure if Beacon is IHRA. It seems like it is with Teen Street, but you've at least got a few guys watching from your tracks that are on board with IHRA. Thanks everyone for your comments, by the way. Central Illinois mentioned about juniors needing to be at each track and that they're part of the family tree, the future of our sport. Casey, man, your question.
Man, this was a great segue too, because talking about North Carolina in specific and having so many racetracks in the given area, I have this question. It's literally titled "Help," and there's a whole lot of bullet points here, so this is going to be a long one. But we'll go line by line here. So, I guess, how is IHRA going to help the tracks? Because I think all of the organizations as they have existed thus far have not helped the tracks the way they should. And that's the reason a lot of these tracks are, obviously, encroachment of subdivisions and things. That does what it does. But I think that you guys are intending on actually helping the tracks out. In North Carolina specifically, like you were just talking about, Mel, there's several tracks really close to each other. So number one, the very bottom line is, can you help with them scheduling around each other? Because, for example, I know a year ago or so, 2 years ago, there was like Kinston and Coastal are both IHRA tracks. And they always had races like right around the same time on top of each other. And they're so close to each other, 30 minutes away from each other. I really think they could share staff, the racers, they could share everybody and make the same amount of money if they were just on an every other week each program, rather than trying to both of them have 30 racers or something. They could have 60 at each track and then only be, open for the bracket program at least 2 weeks instead of 4 weeks type scenario. And these are, this is a hypothetical scenario. I'm just using those because those are two tracks I frequent and they're 30 minutes apart from each other. But could you just basically explain to them like, hey guys, if you two could just work together, this would be better for both of you. Maybe they just haven't talked about it type thing.
That's right. Really something we shouldn't have to do, though. I mean, that should be
right.
You know what I mean? I mean, you should think about your neighbor. That's just hard to do.
But I agree, but at times, I am, I have a position in the company that I work for, an architectural firm that, I'm upper management in that area. And sometimes you just got to get people in the room and be like, look, man, this is the problem. And you kind of just moderate, and then they will talk to each other because they might not do it on their own.
Right.
Right. We have division chats, meaning all the, like a division 9 chat, division 1 chat. We're starting to open it up for these tracks to talk to each other. Now there are going to be tracks, close together that they just don't like each other.
They might
and that's why they do it. So, but when it comes to, we don't govern our track. We don't tell them you can't do that, you can't do that, you can't do that. So how can we help our tracks? Well, one, we're not charging sanction fees. That money can go into the banquet, can go into, in any way they want to use it, so that's a big deal. And stuff that was never done before, advertising the tracks races, their results. We do it on our Facebook page, we do it on Instagram, we do it on our website. If you go to our IHRA.com website and go to our news, you would think, wow, look at these guys. That's nothing but racers' names, track names. We're going above and beyond, and we're going to continue to go further as we have 104,000 followers on IHRA. We just got to wake them up. They've been dormant for a long time.
Yeah, it's been dormant.
We're slowly doing that.
Turned off
we have a few features called, not to interrupt you, Larry. We have a few features like Monday Morning Mopar. Okay. And then we have like Wheels Up Wednesday. The Monday Morning Mopar of last week, I believe, or one of them, got 5,400 likes. That's amazing for a page like we got, but we're trying to baby step it into being mainstream. So when we do get a track having something, they know a lot of eyes are going to be looking at it, and it's going to help them, and it's going to help their bottom line.
Exactly. And it's kind of working out really well here, because this segues into my very next bullet point, which is, can you help the tracks realize in today's age, there are a lot of people that utilize social media and stuff to market themselves, a lot of people that don't. And the thing is what people don't realize is social media, as far as marketing, look at what we're doing right now. This is all free. And who watches the most stuff? People who get it for free. So if you can advertise on IHRA's page that you're having a ProAm event, or you're having a special event, or, this is something I was going to bring up later, but it seems like the perfect time to bring it up. Maybe you could have a nitro coupe there or something, because I've always thought they should come back. I'm just saying. Maybe that could be one of those deals. But if you say, hey, we have nitro coupe here, at XYZ drag strip, then that's going to bring a bunch of spectators out, because who doesn't want to see a door car blowing flames out these zoomy headers? You're basically seeing MPK on steroids at that point.
Mel, are you talking in his ear?
Huh?
Are you talking in his ear, Mel, again?
Yeah, no, sir, Larry.
But I think that they just need to understand how to use social media and how to market themselves and how to find local sponsors. It could be something as easy as, the local Jiffy Lube or something, giving the winner a free oil change for his wife's car or something, it doesn't have to be anything that's crazy. It's just a matter of just getting people involved, because guess what? If you win and say there's 10 people giving everybody $50, that's $500 worth of stuff. It doesn't make a difference if it's $500 all at once. It doesn't need to be somebody giving you $500. If there's 10 people give you $50, that's still $500. The racer doesn't care. Right. And I don't think a lot of people understand that, they're so worried about, especially in bracket racing today, because big money racing has just overtaken. Right now, SFG's running a $1.1 million race right now, this week. But the fact of the matter is that people are so worried about that big number. They're like, this is the only way I can survive. And they've forgotten that you can get a bunch of people and still get the same amount of money. You don't need that big number from everybody.
Right.
No, absolutely. And IHRA has always been grassroots. So, we get, obviously there's a place for the big money races. We know that, but not everybody can afford those entry fees, right? Because they're high. It really is. Most of the IHRA guys can run a whole season on one race entry for the million. So like I said, everything has its place, and I think IHRA has a great family of racers, and like I said, we're just going to make that a little bit bigger every year. And Larry, with his ideas, keep coming up. I mean, just all the time, he's got ideas, and it's just like, it's pretty cool. The guy's
Mel's got to put the
passionate.
brakes on me.
I do. We need a little shoot, a little air pop shoot on his back.
I just love racing, man. I don't care what it is. I don't care if you got to come over to the racetrack with a rental car or you got a promo. I don't care what it is. Bring it out to the racetrack. You know, everybody we all get too messed up with this trying to go too fast and be the fastest car there. Little quick story. I was at Gateway one day and I was coming around the corner there with my Pro Mod bus, you know, and there was a guy in a 69 Camaro, and I just seen him going rounds. And I come around the corner, and I was thinking to myself while I'm getting pulled up there, man, that'd be badass to have something like that and just have fun. I said, because the fun's gone when you're working on it all the time. And I pulled up next to him, and I was putting my boots on, and he looked at me, and he goes, man, I'd like to drive that thing. And I said, you're going to think I'm lying to you, but I was just coming around the corner thinking I'd like to drive your car. and I meant it, man. We get too carried away with trying to go fast, and you don't need a fast car, man. I mean, I'm always pulling for that underdog, man. When I'm in a bracket race or something, and I'm watching somebody with a car that ain't so fast and ends up winning that deal, you know, that's a good feeling, you know.
Man, there was nothing cooler than a couple years back. I think it was one of the races at the WFC, which is also going on this weekend in Bristol. But I want to say a guy drove like a Duster or a Dart or something there with a tent in the back seat and a scooter in the back seat and won a 10-grander and was sleeping in the tent next to the car. I mean, there's nothing cooler than that. That's what racing's all about.
I'll be on the cover of IHRA when he does that.
And I heard that. No, it's a lot of good topics we got going on here, guys. Keep them coming. And we're going to take a quick break here and head to a couple of commercials. Hang in there. We'll be right back with more from IHRA, what I would like to call royalty. But it seems like it's more of a kind of a community here we're trying to build. So hang in there. Keep your questions coming. We'll keep asking them.
TSR Racing Products has everything you need to make your Power Glide Turbo 350, Turbo 400, and 727 transmissions the best they can be on the street or at the track. With exceptional products, customer service, and over 30 years of experience, TSR Racing Products is always available to help their customers with any of their transmission needs. In-house machining ensures you only receive the best products from TSR Racing. Visit TSR Racing Products at tsr-racing.com or give them a call at 800-394-5889.
BRG Motorsports 3D printed racing parts are able to provide you with whatever you desire to enhance your drag racing operation. Items like safety belt magnets, nitrous bottle holders, and even quick release delay box mounts are able to be obtained from BRG Motorsports 3D printed racing parts. Have a look at top-selling items such as helmet hooks and steering wheel hooks, which are proven to make it easier to maneuver throughout your race car. You can contact BRG Motorsports 3D printed racing parts at telephone number 765-729-1177.
We've completely redesigned our best-selling thermostat fan to make it even better. ProForm's high-performance universal 15-inch electric fan is the perfect upgrade to replace the stock fan in your vehicle. It's equipped with a thermostat that's adjustable from 160 to 240 degrees. Mounted to your radiator supports with sturdy brackets and driven by a heavy-duty motor, this unit pulls up to 2,800 CFM of air with a 14-amp current draw. All mounting hardware and wiring are included.
That's kind of funny. That was kind of funny. Hey, we're having fun, guys. I'm sorry we were a little long on the commercial break there, but hey, everybody who supports GBR, all the sponsors, guys, you know who you are. TSR, thank you for what you do. BRG, Ken Jones Performance. You know, we got Crew Chief Pro. We got Driven Racing Oils out there. Syntex Printing. Definitely can't do it without you guys. Hopefully I didn't forget anybody, especially you ProForm Parts, which is who I definitely forgot, and it just came back to me that quick. So thank you everyone for what you're doing here. I'm gonna go to a comment here over on the IHRA page before we get back to our questions here out of Jeff Miles. 2024 is going to be epic. Glad to say that Darlington. Now that says day, but I think he meant to say everybody, just for the record here, that Darlington will be back home. Is that a new track? Did GBR get y'all a new track? It wasn't us. Couldn't have been. It's that IHRA and what you guys are doing. Obviously, what we said on the last show here is going to probably be a trend. With that type of announcement that you guys are announcing, I really expect to see quite a few more of those tracks come back to you.
I mean, I still call tracks that ain't our tracks. You know what I mean? Just to tell them, just to talk to them. I mean, I understand, why they switched. They didn't know this was going to still be going on. And I just want to let them know no one's mad at them, dude. We just want to come back and have a family and do some badass, get some racing going.
I heard that.
I agree, man.
I mean, it just like, there were some areas that there just was like, they felt like they were going to be on an island. And I get it. We get it. I talk to our old tracks all the time, and we wish them the best. We do not want drag racing to decline. We want it to nothing but enhance. And go ahead, Larry.
What would that show if we were all mad at them for switching or doing whatever, when that wouldn't make us any better? You know what I mean? So we're all in this together.
That's a perspective that a lot of people, I think, need to understand, which is the fact that drag racing is actually the most easy form of motorsports to get involved with as far as all motorsports goes, because I can tell you right now, just the tires that it takes to run a circle track race alone is going
track racing, by the way.
Yeah. But the fact of the matter is that just drag racing, you can literally go bracket race with anything you have.
Anything.
But you can't do that with any other form of motorsports. You just can't. So if we were all just on the same team, no prep can happen right before a bracket race happens, which can happen right before a ProAm happens, which can happen right before a national event happens, and it's just on and on and on. But, at the end of the day, if everybody just got on the same team, everybody likes going fast. That's what we're there for, is going fast, everybody enjoying being at the track and having a good time. That leads me to my last bullet point of the long question that I was posing before, which is, can you guys have like classes for track management or track operators or owners or whatever on just the idea, like an online course of just, in these conditions, you prep the track this way? Because Larry, I think you came out with your own glue and stuff like that. Can you say, look, in these conditions, this is how you utilize it. In these conditions, this is how you utilize it, because we all know that when it's 40 degrees outside, you're going to prep it different than when it's 120 degrees outside. And across the country, if you're racing in, North Dakota versus racing in Florida, you're going to prep it differently.
Or in Florida with all the humidity, and then, Galen down in Texas, he preps different because the humidity gets him in the heat, so there again, what works for one area ain't going to work for another area. So you got to kind of figure out what's worked best for you. And that's hard too, because it's hard to find somebody that you hire that really tries to make it the best they can do it. Usually you got the owner out there doing it, and he's doing everything. He's cutting the grass, he's weed eating, he's ordering food, he's cleaning the bathrooms. It's just a hard deal, to run a racetrack, and a lot of people, especially racers, they don't understand it. They think you're pulling in there and track's making all kinds of money.
I heard you say
it's a hard.
I think I heard you mention that on Monday Morning Racer stream, and just the thought of, if you see a Coke bottle laying on the ground.
I do. My kids do. I pick it up, help them out, man. How hard is it to bend over and pick up something?
And I'm honest with you, just the nature of your saying that I was just at the racetrack. Well, what do you think rung in my head when I saw a piece of trash? Pick that piece of trash.
Hopefully you picked it up and didn't throw something down.
I should picked it up and put it in the trash. And then on top of that,
man.
After I got my car loaded and everything done for me to get ready to go home after I'm still licking wounds from the weekend, but after I licked all my wounds off, I then cleaned up after anything I could have left myself. So you're saying that didn't fall on deaf ears. You got
good,
me,
man.
number one. So
good.
Excellent comment.
That's all it takes is. Well, what about the pissing on the toilet seat too? What about
right.
that one?
Right. I don't do that.
Oh man.
I mean, it's there for you, man. When you got to go to the bathroom, like I don't understand how trash the bathroom. Like, don't trash the bathroom.
Right.
If I could say something real quick, we got a couple of Ohio tracks that are watching. Mary Ann from Dragway 42 and Ron from Kilcare. Just want to say hi to them. And then also today we signed Larice Motorsport Insurance. Like to welcome them to the IHRA family. We appreciate all the guys at Larice coming on, and big things are going to happen from Larice and the IHRA.
Yeah, and they're a huge help to everything that's going on with bracket racing right now. I know they're a very big racing family. I know they have some extremely fast dragsters. What was it, George? We do live from the 8th mile at the Million that year, and we saw a gamblers race where one of the Larice cars was going like 390. Everybody was complaining the track was bad, and he went to like 5th round going 390s every single time.
Straight down that joker too. Straight down it. So definitely, guys, thanks again for joining in here at the Going Bracket Racing show with features the IHRA royalty. I'm just going to keep saying it because I think it sticks. But
we're not no royalty, man.
Let's just call it the IHRA community then. That might sound a little better.
We're just a family. We're just a family of people that love drag racing, man. That's it. That's all
I heard that. I'm glad to be part. As long as you'll have me, I'm definitely glad to be part of the family.
I'm glad for what you guys do, because I know you're not getting rich off of what you do.
Oh no,
because you love doing it. We all get stuck in this sport that we love to do for not that much of a reward, and I think all of us that's in this racing deal is like different individuals.
That's exactly right.
Even owning a racetrack, you're a different individual, man. A lot of work for a little bit of reward in most cases. So, like I said, next time you're out at a racetrack, just appreciate that racetrack being there. Appreciate the owner, appreciate all the people working there, especially people in the tower. That's a hard job. Every racer should work the tower one night or the stage lanes.
Yep.
And then, like I said before, you're complaining about your dial-ins wrong, but it's on the wrong window, or the person in the tower can't see it. And another thing that's hard too, is this goes out to all you dragster guys. All right. There's so many dragsters out there that are beautiful. I mean, painted beautiful and everything. And you got all your numbers on the scoop beautiful, but it looks beautiful, but you can't see it. You don't know what the hell it is, man. Step back and look at it and see if you can read it like from 100 feet away. That's hard for a person in the tower.
That's a very good point. Sorry to cut you off, George, but I just wanted to make this point because it was a perfect timing for it. A lot of my buddies go hunting, and at the hunting club, you're always required to work the trails at some point. You're supposed to, be it cut brush, clear trails, whatever it is, get rid of the poison ivy, things like that. But the fact of the matter is that they're all required to be a member of the hunting club. You have to work the trails before you go to hunting season, so it's ready for everybody during hunting season. Fix your four-wheeler bridges, things like that. Maybe that's something that that tracks need to think about, is just, and I know it'd be really hard to implement, but it's just kind of a thought just because you had brought it up. But somebody working the track every once in a while could make things a lot better.
That's a fact. That's a fact. And I think it segues into my question here, because we all love to have them at the show. Always. Those junior dragsters. My boys, they're pecking me on my back already. Hey, I want a junior dragster, Dad. Well, I'm not quite ready to do that yet until you show me a little bit more. How do we get more participation, in your guys' opinion, into the junior dragster side of things? And then I guess it was an excellent segue, because sometimes the parents need to understand that it is not very easy to put on a junior program. How can we help them bridge that gap as well? I just threw that in there. That's just second thought.
Junior dragsters gotten way out of cost, just the cost of the junior dragsters. that was meant to be a class where you buy a kit from, an aftermarket place and put a Briggs and Stratton on it and take your kid out for $500 or $600 and go have a good time. And then, the parents' ego has gotten away. And,
So
a lot of parents are trying to, run their life through their kids, and that's out of hand too.
now, speaking of junior dragsters, this is something I posed to Doug whenever he and Paige were on the show, which is, why can't they use four-wheeler motors? Is there a reason why they have to use a Briggs-based motor, which none of these motors are Briggs-based anymore? It's kind of like saying a 481X is a LS1. It's not. But the fact of the matter is a four-wheeler automatic four-wheeler motor is made for some kid. Some kid's dad buys it for him for Christmas. He goes and beats on it. He's supposed to change the oil, never does. They sell that on Craigslist because it gets too small for him. Another kid does the exact same thing, and this goes on and on and on. It never blows up. And guess what? If you have a Honda 250 motor on a junior dragster, guess where you can go to get parts? Right down the street. Guess where the maintenance manuals are? Right, they're come off the four-wheeler. It's literally change it after you ride it every day, something like that. But I don't see any reason why an automatic four-wheeler motor, because it's all based off, index type stuff anyway. Like if you're this age, you can go 790, 890, et cetera. But I think if you could make it where a kid could buy, say, like a 250 dirt bike motor or something like that, and they could get that and you could gear it in such a way where, okay, it goes 1190. Now you gear it differently. It goes 1090, so on and so forth. You could use that almost your entire junior dragster career and then just sell it to somebody and it all still works. It would be a great idea. Those Briggs motors are not made to do what they were doing. I mean, I remember I'm sure they've made improvements over the last 20 years. But the fact of the matter is they're just, those four-wheelers are already made to get destroyed. That's what they're made to do, is flip over in ponds and stuff.
You don't have a junior dragster engine sponsor on your program, do you? Because he's mad at you right now.
No, I don't. my kid's 10 months old.
We're thinking different, man. I was thinking more like Hayabusa motor, but I see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just want to make it affordable so we can get more people involved. That's why
right.
It ain't never affordable. It gets out of hand. That's just racing.
But it should never be. It should never be that a junior dragster costs more than my S10 truck.
No.
Sitting outside in the doggone garage, and my trailer to pull it at the same time. So
and pull in with a stacker.
Come on,
right?
All right. Anyway, we're on the same page here. Mm-hmm.
But IHRA did for 2023. We adapted the same age requirements as NHRA by letting the 5-year-olds come and exhibition race to get it. So because it wasn't like that before in the old IHRA. So if we can align ourselves with NHRA. Therefore these kids can go from track to track and they can use their IHRA or NHRA license to get an IHRA license. So like I said, making the two work together, so you don't have to have a separate animal. And if you're 5 years old, you can race NHRA or IHRA.
Interesting.
Awesome.
That's another thing. That kid don't want to go to the racetrack and be the slowest car there,
True.
Right.
Down at my place, I had a kid that came down there and he was a beginner, and his dragster was wide looking, and all the kids were, what they're doing. They're kids,
right?
So my boy was over there, and I said, if I hear you say a bad word about that car, I'm giving them your car, and you're driving that car.
Wow.
Yep.
That all stems to the parents too. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Well, a lot of the junior dragster parents anymore, at least maybe not necessarily where I'm at now, but I always noticed that whenever I was little, a lot of those kids' dads never raced. So they didn't know the etiquette. They didn't know, this isn't T-ball and things like that. This is about helping everybody. And I think some of that's starting to maybe go back the right direction. But I think a lot of it is due to the fact it is so expensive anymore. And it's in a kid's class should not be expensive because it's about exposing them to the sport and getting them in a place where the cool part about the racetrack is that parents can let their kids go do whatever they want because they're all in this big fenced in area and they have all of us all watching. And everybody at the racetrack, for the most part, is a good person. And if they catch you doing something, they're going to treat you like you're their kid. And I had that happen to me before, and George has too. And I think we turned out reasonably okay.
I wouldn't have it any other way, to be honest. growing up at the racetrack, but you can't do it if you don't have an actual class for them to race. I'll take a few comments out of the IHRA side here out of Brad Hardy. He's saying, absolutely looking forward to working with you in the near future. Is that Hardy? Yeah, it is Hardy. Sorry, guys. My eyes are a little bad there. Chuck DeMolin says, as Larry said, it's supposed to be a class that was designed to be cheap. Lawnmower motor. It has evolved so far beyond that. And it really has. I mean, you got kids. Granted, you got kids coming out of these junior dragsters and really being able to compete at a seriously high clip right now based on where it's evolved to. So I like it, but it's a double-edged sword because you have so many kids who want to get into it who can't afford it on this hand, and then you got those kids who can afford it and do it at a high clip. The Gage Birches, the Kendall Littles, the all these big name junior dragster guys that are running for $1.1 million right now and having a chance or already have won that kind of money. So
Corey Galletti, quite possibly one of the greatest bracket racers of all time. I don't even know if he's allowed to drink beer yet, and he's already won everything there is to win.
Tell me about it. So
and then NHRA guys, Sean Langdon, Erica Enders. I mean, Leah Pruitt.
I had even Anson Brown.
They all.
Yeah, Anson Brown. Just won a big. He's 2 for 2.
75 grand.
Just come out of juniors, already winning at a big clip. So yeah, man, it's big.
So, I guess we'll get on to the next thing here. Do you think match races could be brought back as far as being booked in for like your mystery class, something like that? You remember back in the day, like Animal Gym and match race somebody, something like that. And it would bring in a ton of people to the track. Do you think something like that could ever be brought back, considering, or even bring in a couple Street Outlaws drivers, something like that, just to get spectators into the facility and get them understanding, like, no, you literally can be in the track, like standing at the track, meeting the people, seeing the cars. You could have your own car out here, because a lot of people, I think, they think Street Outlaws, and this is part of it, they think it's a big deal because of the drama. Well, the thing is that, first of all, that happens at the racetrack, so it's all there if you want to see it. But second of all, it's because their cars are relatable, and those match race cars seem like they're more relatable than the pro cars.
Well, I guarantee you something like that will happen.
That's pretty just straight up.
There you go, right there.
I mean, that's guaranteed something's going to happen.
Yeah, I don't see.
Street Outlaw, at first everybody was dogging it, but 405, No Prep Kings, all that, man, that was a blessing to our sport.
Yeah.
No matter what a racer says, that got people into this sport that never even thought about a race car,
It's just like back in the day whenever Orange County Choppers had that show and everybody thought they needed to go to Sturgis. Yeah. Sturgis was huge then.
Including us, Casey, for crying out loud.
I was at Bowling Green last week for No Prep Kings, and it was amazing, man. The people there, it was amazing what's happening.
Right, making tracks money. I mean, that's what tracks need. They need the big events, make money.
If tracks make money, racers hopefully get paid more money. So,
or at least we can keep these tracks open. That's the main thing.
Yeah, that's the main thing.
Yeah. Casey, your next question is just perfect right now.
Let's see. You caught me off guard here,
man. While you searching, come on now.
So I guess then the way to talk about this would be, we just talked about Darlington's coming back. Have you seen an uptick with more people requesting paperwork on getting IHRA sanctioning with ProAms being announced?
Nice.
Well, before ProAms got announced, we were getting messages and texts every day from tracks that ain't sanctioned through us, that I think a lot of people is going to be freaked out next year.
I think
we got quite a few outlaw tracks. I mean, we signed Shady Side earlier this year. That's a track that's been an outlaw track for 50 years.
Right.
Seth and the boys, they got just an amazing bracket program going on. And these guys, I mean, they're amazing. I went to one of their races and had a great time. And then I actually sent a sanctioning agreement to another outlaw track last night. So we'll see if we can get a new track signed up.
Well, obviously this is right there in your wheelhouse and everything. Where has I-57 ever been sanctioned until Donnie just got sanctioned with you guys? Because at least in the time I was growing up, George and I grew up at I-57 drag strip in Benton, Illinois, and I don't remember it ever being sanctioned.
Same.
I don't know. We stayed on them, and Dan and all them guys that, Dan that runs it and Donnie, it's just, they got an amazing thing going on right now, right there.
Yep.
They have a great Quick 32 program now that they just got sponsored.
Along the other side of that, they have the ear of that area. Spectators show up out there, man. Always have, so.
Right.
Yep.
If you want to see how a track should look, you go to I-57 drag strip on a Saturday night, because that track, ever since I've been a little kid, I mean, like I said, I was at that track when I was 3 months old, and ever since I can remember, there have been fans all the way to the end of the track. Al Peevler just went 390 there, I think, the other day or something like that in his top dragster. And they just, like I said, it was originally a quick 16, but Donnie just got some new sponsor and they said, no, we want it to be a quick 32. So, I mean, it's great for that area, man. Like, if you want to know what a drag strip looked like in the 80s, I-57 drag strip looks like that in 2023.
Yeah, on top of that, you guys know this is bracket racing. I think I read something where Luke Bogacki is actually helping out this coming week with the, it's going to be I guess it's the Independence Day race that they're having. I think I saw round money on that flyer. So, hey, guys, if you're not doing anything and you feel like racing for some round money, head on out to Benton. I want to say they can hold 500 or 600 cars. I know they can't hold that many, but let's just line that mini up out there and just see what they do with it, I've seen enough races at Benton where we were parked all up and down that dang country road right there, Casey, if you remember what I'm talking about. So definitely, if you got nothing to do, give them a look. Definitely.
Yeah, I did a track visit, and a lot of new pavement, paint on buildings, a new timing system. I mean, they're putting the money into the track, and it shows. And I believe Paige Hamlin was at a foot brake race like 3 weeks ago, and she said that the stands were packed. So you're right on that.
Right. Got a question in my chat here. Is there any IHRA in Canada? Out of Cody Newman, one of our Canadian brothers.
Yeah, tell them
that. I'm going to forget them all. Saskatchewan International, Interlake, Nitro Motorsports Park. That's to name a few. We have a meeting with a couple other Canada tracks within the next couple of weeks. Eric Lantino, who runs the KB Titan racing team, has contacted us and said, hey, I know a couple tracks. You guys, we all need to get on a Zoom. And so, yeah, they're, like I said, and they're contacting him. So it's buzz. And
what's crazy is everybody's pulling for us. You know what I mean? I mean, everybody behind the scenes, whether it's a guy that runs Pro Mod, Pro Stock, Mountain Motor Pro Stock. I mean, they're pulling for IHRA. And we, like I said, we first took this over, we got nothing, and I think our whole team is, if you don't mind me mentioning them, from Mel to his wife to my fiance Kelly, Paige, Chris, Doug, Jeff Birchfield that writes all our stories. Man, he's amazing. Cody, everybody, Diego that does the graphics. Like, I think I always said we were the bad news bears of sanctioning bodies. If you ever seen that show when you were a kid, we got through into something that we all love to do, didn't know how to do it. We all just, Mel's done so damn many races. He knows what to do. I'm just appreciative of all them. I'm appreciative of all the tracks that stuck with us. I'm appreciative of you guys for having us on here.
Yeah,
absolutely, man. This is what it's all about. We're glad that it's in the racers' hands, because as racers, that's who we trust as other racers to have our best interest in mind. But this was a good point. Eric White, I didn't forget about you, man. I saw this question earlier, but I was just finding a good opportunity to say it. Eric White asks, will there be career opportunities with the IHRA, and is there a job postings page at the moment?
There is not, but info@ihra.com. You can send a resume. Make sure you list what area you're in. Like I said, we're getting ready to add some people in 2024 to handle these races. The one Brad Hardy that you've seen, he was an NHRA official starter for several years. We're just excited to have Brad on our team come team finals and world finals. And I mean, we're ready. Send us your resumes.
That's perfect. No, that's perfect. So, and here's a question that I think, especially here at Going Bracket Racing, we always kind of pay attention to. I, for one, would love to race when I'm my father's age. Okay, that's a little bit ways away, guys. Okay, and so with that being said, we have to figure out a way to turn the spectators that we're able to grab and come to our racetracks or our community racetracks, turning them into actual racers themselves. Any ideas or thoughts that you guys might have, what would be easier or the easiest way to do it? I know I've talked to Gebhardt's about this one time, maybe having free like a free testing tune if it's your first time, and then if you win it or win a certain race, giving a sportsman or a trophy entry away.
I gotta go get another earpiece. I'll be right back.
Gotcha. So Mel, you ever given any thoughts to that?
Well, there's several tracks like West Clap at Knoxville. He just started a learn how to bracket race school, and we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna watch and see how that goes. And if Wes has a lot of traction with that, then that's maybe, like I said, other tracks might be able to do that. You do it on your days off. You make it inexpensive for people to come out, and then maybe if they go and do and race your program, you give them 2 or 3 race entries, bring your family, and but that's something that I know that they announce during their races. Say, hey, look, if you guys are interested, come see us, sign up, and Bandamere and NHRA, they have partnered with Dodge, and that's what they do during the week. They have corporate events, what gets people from the corporate world onto the drag strip. So I think a lot of other tracks have seen that, see how well it works, and they're going to start implementing that in their race programs for during the week, because that's what the key is. I mean, if you got a racetrack, you pay every day. You might as well be trying to make a little bit of money or future money when it comes to getting new people involved in our sport.
That's fact.
Right. And it all comes full circle, man, to the fact that, like Larry was saying earlier, the cost portion has got out of hand. And I think a lot of people watch Street Outlaws or watch NHRA and stuff like that on TV, and it looks unattainable, but they don't realize there is a local bracket program that they can participate in, from the ground of junior dragsters all the way up to top ET into the top sportsman classes, and then step your way up from there. But you don't have to go all in on a $500,000 race car to be a race car driver. You can bring out, realistically, to be completely transparent, to have a competitive race car, you probably need about $10,000 to have something you can go to, like I said, that 1.1 million or the WFC. You can be competitive with that, and you can win 10, 20, 30, $1 million potentially, things like that. And but the thing is, and this is something, at least on the East Coast, I haven't noticed being a thing out here very much, is there's not a lot of street classes out here anymore. It's always mod ET or foot brake, whatever you want to call it, pro, something like that. And I think there should be more of a street class, because first of all, street class be like $25 entry fee and win $200, and that's fine for them. They drove in, drove out. $200 goes a lot further than it does for my racing program. They don't need trailers, things like that. They already got the car. But I think the street program might need to make a comeback, simply because it does get people in the door and understanding, hey, now maybe I want a cam for my car. Maybe I want, to do a stroker deal on my car. Maybe I want a real race car, something like that.
Or maybe you want to spend $500,000 at Larry Tucker's race cars.
Right, well, exactly.
Be it.
Good plug.
Don't put it past me one of these days. I might hit the lottery or something. I'm just kidding. We got a couple questions on the IHRA page again here, and it's actually, the first one is a comment. It says, we need more heads-up racing. Spectators don't understand bracket racing. I'll be honest with you with that comment. It's out of Johnny and Becky Helmus, I believe is the last name. That's what we do here at Going Bracket Racing. You should expect to see more of a community. I think it's going to spread throughout, as well as IHRA, Going Bracket Racing. We do our best to make sure that a little bit of an education is able to be obtained. But with Motor Mania and other streaming sources, GBR Media is on the way. The main thing to do is just turn it on and watch it. and then you'll begin to understand bracket racing quite a bit more. And I feel like that might help us bridge that gap. But that's a excellent comment. One thing that I'm hoping that we do here is begin to remove that invisible barrier between bracket racers and heads-up racers that somehow got created between the street classes and the bracket classes. I don't know how it happened, but you can't really go anywhere and make a post about bracket racing without a street racer whose car is not even faster than yours coming in and saying how much faster they are than you are. We got to remove that barrier. I believe you. I believe you. But I think that your mystery class and the no time class that you have coming into this whole thing, that is step number one, where you actually integrate top ball with no time at the same time.
Well, hey man, the guy who does that the best is Travis Harvey out here, man. Carolina kid. He'll run.
Badass.
Yeah, dude. I think at PDRA he was running Galot's car and Pro Boost. He had his own car and Pro Nitrous, and then he wasn't doing it at PDRA. But you'll see him out bracket racing. He'll win that too, man. He'll do anything. That dude is a racer through and through, and he's the epitome of more of the mindset of what we need in the sport, which is I want to go racing. What can I race today? Because I'm going to enter that class.
Yeah, he also runs the big dog at Piedmont.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just a great guy. He's an ambassador to our sport. So,
absolutely. So, man, guys, we appreciate you both being on here. We want to give you guys an opportunity to thank whoever you need to thank while you're on this show here. Who do y'all got to thank while you're on the show here?
I think I already thanked everybody. Mel's the one that's got the brain for all the other people. I go by what's in my head, you know, especially Summit and everybody for sticking with us. You know, Mel's got the list. I know he's already looking for it. I want to appreciate, I appreciate all the tracks that stuck with us. I appreciate all the racers that race IHRA, you know, and for believing in us and to see what we're getting ready to hopefully do here and make things better. Because we bought a dead dinosaur. And if you haven't seen what Mel and Paige and everybody's done and everybody on our social media, you're under a rock because they're doing awesome.
So I'd like to thank Larry. First off, believing in me. Kelly, his fiance, my wife Heather, who does our membership. We have Doug Foley Jr. You guys know him. Paige Hamlin. Yeah. We got Cody Pelage. We got Christopher Eager up in the north. We got Jeff Birchfield, who does our all our writing. We got Diego. Diego B. I can't pronounce his last name. He does our graphics and everything, and we appreciate that. But, you know, not that I'm just going to read them, but I just definitely don't want to forget anybody. So Summit, first and foremost, stuck with us. We appreciate Summit Racing Equipment. Sunoco Race Fuels, Red Tide Canopies, RacingJunk.com, Motor Engineering, Extreme Racing Oil, which is a division of LJ1 Oil Products, ATI Performance Products, Strange, RJS, Fuel Tech. What's Fuel Tech, Larry?
They power in the world.
Everywhere, everywhere.
I just got that from.
I told Luis over the weekend he's powering the world.
Champion Auto Lift, a new one for us last week. Don Baskin Truck Sales. Appreciate Don Baskin. He owns Jackson Dragway LLC, IHRA track. Trailer Ranch out there in the Carolinas, Durana Hybrid, and then our World Championship, which our World Championship had blossomed to be worth over $275,000, thanks to a lot of these champion products we're getting. Evil Swing Arms, Flying A Motorsports, giving us a 32-foot aluminum $30,000 bad dude trailer. So thank you, Alan Cape and everyone at Flying A. DC Karts giving us a golf cart for our junior Dragster champion. Johnny Azell, that's a pretty common name on this show. Yes, he's building us a rolling dragster that we'll give to the top ET world champion. And then BC Trailer Services out of Oklahoma. Brian and the guys over there give us a flatbed trailer for our sportsman champion. So over $275,000 worth of money, mainly money. Thank you, Larry. And a bunch of prizes. So being an IHRA world champion means a lot. I mean, it really does. And Larice Motorsports Insurance, who signed today. I mean, it's a lifetime achievement. And these people that win it, they get a ring, a huge diamond ring, like you just won the Super Bowl. So along with the trophy, big check, and all the fame that goes with it. So appreciate all our sponsors.
I just want to let all the racers know too. You know, you don't get to see what all we're doing behind the scenes and what our whole team's doing. But just think about it. You know, for the last 10 or 15 years, IHRA only had 3 sponsors. I mean, you know, look what we already got. Not even in 7 months, 6 months. So we're working for you guys. I mean, you might not think we're working that hard, but we're working. I mean, we want to be able to put sportsman racing on a stage someday and make it badass where you're proud to win, you know, to be a member and proud to do some drag racing. We just all love drag racing.
Yeah. And like I said, thank you to
everybody that does what you guys do, you know, because you love it too, or you wouldn't be doing it.
Exactly.
Thank you to all our tracks that trusted in us. I mean, you know, they went out on a limb for us because, you know, we really had no, experience in the sanctioning game. But I think they saw our heart and our soul when me and Larry went to all these team finals and in the world finals. And that got a lot of trust in these 60 some tracks that we have now. And like I said, we're looking to build toward the future. So we'll see what happens.
Exactly.
Like I said, you know, they said, are you guys the right guys? I don't know if anybody's the right guys. I know we love drag racing, and that's more than the other people that's on this sanctioning body did. We love drag racing. So we're going to give it all we got for you guys, the racers and the tracks.
Don't forget that you can always vote with your wallet, man, to support those people who support all of us, support all the people that Mel just talked about right there, and support the people who support GBR and give this to you for free every single Tuesday, man. 5 Eastern, 4 Central, YouTube, Facebook, podcast. Podcast comes out a little bit later. If you want to get with us live, you got to get with us on Facebook and YouTube. Don't forget to follow, like, share, and support those who support us. TSR Racing Products, BRG, 3D printed parts, Syntex Printing, Driven Racing Oil. Don't forget to use the code GBR10. Get yourself 10% off your order. Proform Parts and Crew Chief Pro Software. And other than that, George, we'll see him next Tuesday, right?
We will, as long as I can throw what TFDS means back out there, because it's been messing with me ever since you said it.
If you can't figure that out, come on, man.
Fuel door slammer.
Top fuel door slammer.
Boom! Well, I'm talking about. You know how long I've been writing with this pen trying to figure that out?
Coming to a track near you.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. We really appreciate it. And I like
both you guys
like
get
to
with
see
me on
that
Facebook.
red hat
I want to
right
talk
there.
to you.
Let's see what that red hat looks like. There it is. IHRA team finals.
You look like me, man. You can't even see it.
Hey, I had my fuel pump. George. What happened was my fuel pump went out and I stunk.
Go down,
George.
There you go. There you go. Team finals.
Oh, you know, you guys are looking at my. I see what happened is I have 2 cameras running. You're looking at this one, and then the other one in the stream. All right, my bad. Anyway, thanks for joining us, guys. Hey, we appreciate you, and we will see you, as Casey said, next Tuesday.
Appreciate all you guys. Everybody that's got a race car. We don't care what sanction you are. We appreciate you.
Come on out.
Thanks, everybody.
See ya.
See you guys.